Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, finally bringing you my 1000 sub special. I meant to record this quite a while ago, but then I got mega flu and have been absolutely miserable the entire week. I was also originally going to do it with the webcam on, but I look like shit because I'm still sick, or kind of sick, not as bad as I have been, but bad enough that I don't want to show my face to anybody. So instead, I'm just going to put up some pictures or something, and you guys can listen to this in the background while you do something else, kind of like a podcast. Because there's not really going to be that much to look at, unless you enjoy Pokemon pictures, I guess. So, got a decent number of questions on my question video. Not as many as I was hoping for, but still should be enough to make a decent length video. So we'll go ahead and start way down at the bottom with the first one and work our way up from there. So first couple questions are from Boom2254. First one, what else do you play besides Pokemon? Favorite game? I don't know if you mean like other card games or just games in general. I do a lot of gaming on my computer. I like any kind of strategy game. Civ 5 is one of my favorite games. Any kind of RPGs, and then I also like board games a lot. Settlers of Catan and Small World are two of my favorites, and I also do pen and paper RPG with some of my friends here in Korea on the weekend. So we do a Star Wars RPG that's pretty fun. So yeah, I like all sorts of games, any kind, board games, video games, card games, anything where you can strategize. I like. Then the next question he posted 4, so I'll just go through them all. Next one, any pets? Not here in Korea. My parents have a couple back at their house, so I see them when I visit in the summer. They have a cat, and my sister has a dog. But I don't have any. I just don't feel like I'm home enough to give a pet the attention it deserves. And I don't want to clean up something else's poop. So, no pets. Why'd you start your channel? I don't even remember. I started my channel years ago, like 2007. But I didn't actually upload anything for years. And then I started uploading Wi-Fi battles just because I was bored and I thought it would be interesting. And then I got into TCGO and put that up because there weren't a whole lot of other people posting TCGO at the time, so felt like it was something that could be pretty unique. And the last one from him, if you could be one animal, what would it be? Definitely a house cat. Are you kidding me? You sleep like 18 hours a day, you only wake up to eat, and you do whatever you want. That sounds just about perfect to me. So I would definitely be a house cat. Maybe not very exciting, but sounds like a perfect life. Either that or some kind of bird, like a predatory top of the food chain bird, like an eagle, so I could fly and eat things. But yeah, definitely a house cat. Next, sorry about my voice. Next, from the Baholo, what is the most awkward situation you have ever been in? Huh. Well, this is a fun one. Obviously, I have to tell a story to even tell it. You can't just answer a question like that in a couple of sentences. But back when I had my braces, I used to have to go to the orthodontist every month. This is in middle school, I guess. I had to go to the orthodontist every month to get them tightened and checked on and everything. I'm sure if you guys have had braces, you know how they work. But anyhow, I have a really strong gag reflex. So having a bunch of people with their hands in my mouth is not fun. And I always was on the verge of like vomiting every time I went in there, just because they'd have to stick their hands way in the back of my mouth to try and tighten the stuff back there. And I don't have this problem when I go to the dentist. It was just with the orthodontist. I don't know why. I guess it was because there were a bunch of people around me. because it was like him and an assistant and other people. I don't know, but anyhow, one time I just couldn't fight it any longer. He moved just a little bit too far, and I just started vomiting, like violently vomiting all over these people who had their hands in my mouth. Like there was no escape, and it went on forever, just like spewing all over the front of me, like all over their hands and arms, and it went on for like 2 minutes straight once it started. And this is in the middle, like it was not a private room. They had 4 chairs set up so that they could have 4 patients, there at the same time and kind of work back and forth. So there were other people in the room, and then like after it was over, I had to walk out of the room because the dentist, the actual office part was in the back, and so I had to walk out to the lobby like just covered in vomit stains. And like my face was all red and puffy, and it was bad. So that was pretty embarrassing. So there you go. Next, food, 1989. Why are you living in Korea? I teach English. I graduated in 2008, and there weren't any jobs in America that I wanted to do. And I had a friend who lived here, so he got in touch with me and hooked me up with a job here, and I liked it so much I've stayed. So I'm an English teacher. That's why I live here. From the Chaos Send Master. How tall are you? I don't even know. Like 5'6", maybe. Not quite 5'7". I know that. Probably about 5'6", I would say. I'm not very tall. I guess I'm just about average or a little bit under average. Are you in a relationship? Yes. How did you decide to make a channel? I already answered that one. I just made it to watch other videos, and then I started uploading my own stuff. Okay. Next, Frank Mendoza. From the original 151 Pokemon, which Pokemon were you fond of the most, or possibly none? Gengar. Gengar is my second favorite Pokemon of all time. So definitely my favorite of the original 151. Runners up, Mewtwo, Ninetales, Mew, Charizard. All 3 of the starters. The originals are, most of my favorites are in the original ones. So, but definitely Gengar as my favorite. Next, Jambo's fan. How long have you been in Korea, and how much of the language do you know? I've been here for 4.5 years. I came in August 2008. So close to 4.5 years, maybe not quite, but more than 4 years. And I know decent chunk, probably less than I should. I've never sat down and studied it, which I probably should have done, but I've picked up quite a bit. I can read, I can understand it pretty well, but I'm not very good at speaking it, because I don't actually speak it that often. I use English more than Korean, even here. And it's not an easy language to learn. Has zero similarities to English, so that makes it a little harder. Next, from Luke Smuffed. How's life? Kind of crappy. I'm sick. I have the flu. So that kind of sucks. Other than that, fine. Next, from Zoltrix21, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? Are you kidding me? Definitely 100 duck-sized horses. You can just kick them to death. Like a duck-sized horse? No, a horse-sized duck would be fucking terrifying. Like, it's got that bill. It just snap your limbs off. Getting bit by a duck would be bad enough, but like a horse-sized duck? No. How do you even fight that? You can't. It's got like claws on its web foot and it can swim. All you have to do is just kick the horses enough. They've got fragile little legs. You kick the horses and they're done. Easy. I don't care if there's 100. They can't even, like, they have horse legs. They can't climb on top of each other to even attack you. They just kick your ankles. It's definitely 100 duck-sized horses. Is this a question? I don't think this is a question. No. Okay. That's just a lot of things. From Toon D, do you even lift? I'm assuming this is some kind of meme that I'm not familiar with. Wow, I can't even speak. Really? I'm assuming this is some kind of meme that I'm not familiar with. Because no one would ask that as a real question. But no, I'll answer it legitimately. I don't lift, but I do try and exercise a decent amount. I walk to work every day and work out every other day, or try to. But I don't lift. I don't care about lifting. Sorry. Next, funniest of funny. What is your favorite shiny Pokemon? That's a tough question. Probably Charizard. I know that's like a popular answer, but I don't care. Shiny Charizard is ridiculously cool. Yeah, I mean the Gen 3 and up. He was actually like purple and green almost in Gen 2. That wasn't as badass, but yeah, definitely Shiny Charizard. I like Shiny Gengar a lot too. He's not that different, but he is a slightly darker shade of purple, and I think it makes him look a lot better. And I also like Shiny Tyranitar with the tan and purple. But Shiny Charizard would be far and away my favorite. And next, same person. Do you have any exciting shiny Pokemon encounter stories? I guess it's not. It's kind of more of a depressing story than an exciting one. But back when fourth gen came out, I was in university still, and me and a couple of my friends all picked up Diamond and Pearl when they came out, and I transferred over my Venusaur from Gen 3 because I wanted to get a Bulbasaur egg. This is before Pokegen, before Pokesave, like before any of that stuff. When you actually like bred shit that you wanted, that's because that's how you got it. So I was trying to breed Bulbasaurs, and he asked me if he could have one. So I told him sure, and I just bred him one and traded in the egg, and turned out that the one egg I gave him happened to be a shiny Bulbasaur. So he hatched the egg, and he got the shiny Bulbasaur out of all the ones that I was breeding, which was kind of depressing. But I told him he could keep it. So I just talked to him a little while ago, and he said that he'd actually lost it. He didn't remember that happening. So I wish I'd had it now that I know that he didn't even keep it. But still, that was kind of depressing. That's the only shiny that I've ever hatched, and I didn't even get to keep it. So next, from Andrew Lee. I guess that's how you say that name. L-Y would be Lee, I think. What's your most favorite Pokemon ever? Umbreon. No contest. Not even close. Next, Daniel Garcia. Are you married? Nope. I have zero desire to be married or get married anytime. Probably ever. So no. Mr. DJ Greyhound. How long have you been playing PTCG? Since it came out, off and on. I haven't played consistently, and it like playing competitively only since the beginning of last season. Right around the time Emerging Powers came out was when I started playing. That was also about the same time TCGO went to open beta. I started playing that pretty early. So that was when I started playing competitively. But I mean, I started playing with the cards as soon as they came out. I was a huge Pokemon fan from the beginning. So when the TCG came out, me and all my friends in our neighborhood, bought those base set packs. Like they were going out of business. So yeah, I've been playing since they came out, and sold my collection a couple times and then got back into it. But yeah, for a long time. Not very long competitively, though. Next, Robotnik is sexy. What's your favorite memory? I don't even know how to answer that question. A favorite memory. I guess if I had to answer off the top of my head, like the first one that comes to mind as being like a memory that I would use to make a Patronus would be it was 1992, I want to say 93, early 90s. The East Coast got hit by a huge blizzard. And I remember my mom was actually in South America visiting my aunt who lived there at the time. So it was just my dad with my sister and me. We got like 2.5 feet of snow. School closed for 3 weeks, and my dad made us breakfast. He made us snowman pancakes one day, I remember, and we just played in the snow forever, all day for a week. For more than a week. It was amazing. Just play in snow always, and then come back in. Dad makes you delicious food. We had tomato soup and grilled cheese. I remember eating that, and it was just awesome. So much fun. So that would be my favorite memory. That blizzard of, I want to say it was 92, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that's the first one that comes to my head. There might be a better one, but I don't have time to sit here and think about it. So I'm going to go with that one for now. Next, from Zalug90. Do you plan on doing a set review of Plasma Gale? Yeah, done. I did the set review. I was just lazy with it, sorry. Next, from Sputnik. That's Sputnik Asia. Okay. Sputnik Asia. Fire, water, or grass for a starter. I am not a person that has a type loyalty when it comes to starters. I always wait and see, and then pick the one that I like best. So I'll just go through each gen and tell you which ones I picked. Gen 1, I can't choose a favorite. I love all three of them. The first time I played through the game, I used Blastoise. So I guess Squirtle, but they're all amazing. I like them all. Gen 2, probably Totodile. Although I did use Typhlosion the first playthrough, I kind of like Crocodile. Kind of like Totodile better now. For Alligator's just a pretty cool guy. But, yeah. So Totodile for Gen 2. Gen 3, Mudkip, definitely. Mudkip's my favorite non-Gen 1 starter. It's definitely Mudkip. Gen 4, kind of hard to say. I actually like all of the Gen 4 starters quite a bit, too. Although, I guess I would say Chimchar, which is funny. Chimchar was actually my least favorite. I used Turtwig my first playthrough, but I think I would have to say Chimchar would be my favorite one now, just because I think Infernape's really cool, and I like the story that they pulled his Infernape's design from. He's the Monkey King from, what's it called? A Legendary Journey or Journey to the West, some famous Chinese fable. He's the Monkey King. That's what he's based off of. So I think that's really cool. I like him a lot now. And then Gen 5, I hate all of the starters. I think they're dumb. I guess Serperior would be my favorite there. Snivy. So yeah, got one from each type. But I guess overall it's water, at least for the first 3. And then it kind of varies from there. Hopefully we'll have good starters next gen. Another one from Robotnik is sexy. Oh no, it's the same one. Oh, but I missed the second part. He also said also say something in Korean, please, please, please. Okay. 안녕하세요. 내 이름 매튜 쌤, 영어 선생님입니다. 미국인입니다. So there you go. Said, hello, my name's Matthew. I'm an English teacher and I'm American. So there you go, Andy. Enjoy. Wow, these all got repeated. Okay, here's a new one from Desco. Who's with you in Korea and do you like it there? No one. I came by myself. I don't have any family. I've made friends here, but I didn't come with them. Came by myself. And yes, I love it here. I do not plan to move back to the States anytime soon. Next, from Felipe Candijo. I hope that's close to how you say it, I guess. Do you think the Unova region has as exciting Pokemon as Kanto? Kanto's, you can't really get as exciting as the first time, I think. You'll just never make it back, so no. But that's not to say that I don't like the Unova Pokemon. I actually like them quite a bit more than I did the Sinnoh region. I thought Gen 4 pretty uneventful as far as Pokemon go. I'm definitely not like a hardcore, Gen 1 only guy. I love Pokemon from all the regions, but Kanto is definitely my favorite. So I wouldn't say Unova's as good as Kanto, but still solid. Chandelore's Unova, and he's one of my favorites, so not bad. It had some hits and misses like every gen does. Next, from Wangsta124. Do you play in real-life tournaments or just on PTCGO? And if you do play in real life, have you ever won any tournaments? I don't play in real life. I didn't start playing competitively till I got here in Korea. And I honestly don't really have time to play competitively, to go to tournaments and stuff. Tournaments are only on the weekends, and I'm busy pretty much every weekend doing other stuff with my friends here. So no, I don't play in any tournaments, just mostly because of the time issue. It'd be nice to play, but I'd rather hang out with my friends, and none of my friends are really play competitively or into TCG at all, so I don't really get a chance to play competitively in real life. Next, from RemiRam123. If you could create a Pokemon card for the current format, what would it do, and what name would you give it? Wow. I would make... Alright. Well, since Umbreon's my favorite Pokemon, obviously I would make Umbreon awesome. And so I would make Umbreon EX. It would have 230 hit points because it's a stage 1 EX. And it would have an ability called Predatory Moon that said, well, I guess I'll do the attack first. The attack would be something like, I don't know, Shadow Attack or New Moon Attack or something like that, and would just do, let's say 90 damage for 3 energy. It'd be dark, colorless, 90 damage. And then the ability would say, if the defending Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, it's knocked out instead of taking 90 damage. If it's a basic EX. So I would just make an Umbreon that shits all over EXs. And then Umbreon would be good, and Eevee Dex would be good, and that would make me happy. Also, its ability would be Shadow Cloak, and it would just prevent all effects of your opponent's cards on your benched Pokemon. Effects of trainer cards, not attacks. So like Catcher and that kind of stuff doesn't affect your bench. So there you go. That would be my card. It would be awesome. It'd be the best card, obviously, because I made it. But realistically, I guess just something to slow the format down. I would make another card that was like the Stormfront Machamp that just knocked out basics for 1 energy. I'd make it, I guess, probably a stage 2. Let's see. What stage? How about an Alakazam? We haven't had a good Alakazam for a while. An Alakazam be like Mind Break or something that would do 60 damage regularly, but if the opponent was basic, it would knock it out. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Give it some, and then give it a useful ability, some kind of draw support for the ability. Something like Claydol, where you can put a card at the bottom of your deck and then, or draw 3 cards and then put 2 cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck. That would be the ability. That's a little more balanced, I guess. And then the second part of his question, what do you think of the BC Vileplume as a return of 6 corners? Well, I mean, we're into the format pretty deep now. We could see that didn't really pan out because of Catcher. Catcher kills it. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of that. On top of that, Psychic is weak to itself, so you know that doesn't really work. And then Dragon is weak to itself as well. It would be a lot better deck without Catcher, but since that didn't happen, Vileplume, not really worth it. So next, from the quarter turn, do you go to TCG or VCG tournaments often? I already answered that one. Not really, just because I don't have time. Is the metagame in South Korea different than the US? Again, I don't know because I don't go to tournaments. I'd probably, though. I bet it is. I mean, we get some cards that you guys don't get, and then some of our sets come out later than the ones in the States, so I'd imagine it's pretty different, at least until the sets get evened out. And does Korea get sets before us, like Japan does? Well, I just answered that. The Korean sets follow the Japanese sets identically now since the beginning of Black and White. Before that, Korea just kind of did whatever it wanted. The Diamond and Pearl sets we have are just a random amalgamation of cards from any of the Diamond and Pearl sets that were out in Japan. But the Black and White sets follow Japan exactly. So sometimes we get cards before you guys do, but generally we get them later. For example, let's see, Dragon Blade and Dragon Blast, which would be your Dragon's Exalted, came out months after you guys got it, almost 2 months after. And then we just got Freeze Bolt and Cold Flare like a couple weeks ago. So that was a month late too. But we got the cards that got cut from your set. So like we got Ether, Bicycle, and the other one that ended up getting cut, the Gym, Burbank City Gym. Whereas you guys didn't get that. So sometimes we'll get 1 or 2 cards before. We also got Dragon Vault way before you guys did. So sometimes we get stuff before, but generally it's at least a month after. Which kind of sucks. But since I don't play in real life, it's not that big a deal. I just collect them, so I don't really care when they come out. Almost done. 2 more to go. Yoon 3, what drove you to work in Korea in the first place? Lack of jobs in America. My degree is in advertising and public relations, and that was pretty much one of the first areas to tank when the economy bombed. Right around the time I graduated too. I had a ton of friends who graduated a year or 2 before me get fired, and there just wasn't any real good job prospects. So like I said, I had a friend here. He sent me an email and told me about the program he was in, and sounded like a cool opportunity, so gave it a shot, and it's worked out pretty well. And the last question from GunMonkey696. Bianca, Juniper, Skyla, fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go. So fuck, marry, kill. Well, let's see. Bianca, unfortunately, is underage. So, and a blonde. I don't really go for blondes normally. I generally like darker hair. So sorry, Bianca. Gotta kill you. Which leaves us with Juniper and Skyla. Gonna have to say probably fuck Juniper. You know, she's a little bit older. She's still hot though. The lab coat. That's all I gotta say. So yeah. And then marry Skyla because are you fucking kidding me? Look at her. She's gorgeous. And yeah. So there we go. Kill Bianca, fuck Juniper, marry Skyla. Done. And the last part, favorite deck of all time. My favorite deck of all time was before I played competitively. I had an Evolution deck back in the old EX days, right around the end of the EX era, because I think it was right as Dragon Frontiers came out, which was the second to last EX set. I had an Evolution deck that had all of the EVEXs, or not all of them. It had Espeon, Umbreon, and Vaporeon EX, and then there was this Eevee from Unseen Forces that had a Pokepower that whenever you attached an energy to it, you could just evolve it into something of that energy type. So it was just turn one Evolution every game. It didn't ever not work. So that was my favorite deck. And then since I've been playing competitively, I would have to say my favorite deck is probably Chandelure. The psychic one, the Vileplume Chandelure that was out during Noble Victories. That was just a really cool deck. I never got to use it with Tropical Beach, which made it a lot worse than it was in real life. But it was still a blast to play. And I also really liked Reshiflosion. Good old Reshiflosion. That was one of the first decks I built, but it was still, I think, one of the most fun to play. It was really easy, but I thought it was a really fun deck to play, so I like that a lot. Those would be my top two. So that's going to do it for the questions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to them and learning about me. Feel free to leave me a comment here with anything about what I said or clarifications or whatever. I'll try my best to answer in the comments. And yeah, that's going to do it. Stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get a TCGO video out to you guys tomorrow. I think I have one backed up, which is good because I don't know if I'm going to have time to record any, but we'll see. And yeah, stay tuned. More coming your way shortly. Thanks, guys.